Well, I just wanted to take a few moments to address you. This is like my state of the union, I guess. But I'm wanted to, I we all are experiencing something that was unexpected. The pandemic that is affecting us globally is something you could not plan for. It is one of those things where when I'm talking to my leadership coaching clients, this is one of the reasons why it's best to make sure you have processes, procedures, and policies in place for everyday mundane things that you do regularly. So when things like this happen, you have the complete bandwidth to focus, to put your head down and focus and come up with solutions that minimize the most vulnerable. I'm doing this video um, for my own sake. I guess that's the better word. But also as the leader of a community. Um, well, first of all, as for myself, as you know, I'm always talking. I always want to model what I think um, the hashtag causeascene principles are. What I think it looks like, so that other people and have an example, because I am an educator first, and it's the thing, let me show you so you can't say you don't know how. After you I show you and you still aren't doing it, then that's another conversation we need to have, because that's you making a choice. So I just thought I'd come on just to talk briefly about um, how the guiding principles are helping me make personal choices in my life related to this. So, the first guiding principle that is the overreaching one that people need to understand is tech is not neutral. And we're seeing this now. We have people trying to go remote. We're having all kinds of things happen to do social distancing, to do social self quarantine, which is something I'm personally doing. I am making it. I'll talk about that later. So tech is not neutral means that tech is not going to solve all of our problems. The people behind the tech have the ability to solve the problems, and we're seeing this highlighted in such a enormous way with, although the engineers and the designers and the UX teams or whatever being asked to work from home, what does that do to the people who clean the offices, the people who cook the lunches, the people who are whatever their role is within these buildings, or auxiliary third party businesses that rely on this. Our we can we cannot no longer be inwardly focused. We and this is why inclusion and diversity is so important. Our actions impact other people. We function literally in systems, and yet we keep acting like we're in silos. So that's the first thing. As you're making decisions about what to do with your job, if you're a business leader, if you're making decisions about to do with your employees, also think beyond those people. Think about the other people that may be impacted. The next one is intention without strategy is chaos. And I can tell you, what I see now is chaos, and that is what's causing a lot of anxiety with people. I know there are people in my life right now who are no longer paying attention to um, the politics or coronavirus because it is causing them anxiety. They're in the most vulnerable groups. They're not able to sleep. They're concerned. Um, I mean, they can't find hand sanitizer, and I'm talking to them like, "Hey, you don't need sanitizer. Just make sure you're washing your hands. You're not going anywhere." And they're concerned that if they even just step out of their home, something's going to happen. This is what happens when leadership doesn't have a plan. I don't even think the leaders of this country until recently had even an intention to deal with this honestly. Um, and so and so now that it's hit, and and we don't the fact that we're not even testing um says that there's so much more that we don't know than we know, and it's causing people to be really concerned. So in that respect, I ask you to reach out safely to those people who are experiencing anxiety, because I if what I know about black women in the black community, this, whether they get coronavirus or not, this level of anxiety is only gonna compound the already stressful lives we have, and it's not gonna bode well for my community. So the next guiding principle is lack of inclusion is a risk management issue, and we're seeing that. We're seeing how a government that's run and focused only on its own interest has created a risk management. Not This is not even risk management. This is a crisis management situation for everybody. And not only that, but it's a crisis management situation for everybody, and we don't have all the fucking information. That makes it even worse. And we see it in our organizations as well. We see it in the tech space as well. And so again, these are lessons to really. It's sad that it takes this pandemic for people to start thinking beyond themselves. And the last but the most important guiding principle is we need to prioritize the most vulnerable. That's why I'm self quarantining my yeah, self quarantining. I don't have any travel plans until the summer. So for the next few months, I know I can stay close to my house. I can go to the grocery store when it's almost empty. Everything I need I can take care of at home. Um, and I'm not doing it just because I have a fear. I don't have any of the underlying issues that they talk about. I don't want to be a carrier or something that causes harm to somebody else who's vulnerable. So how I always think. Although I'm a black woman in the U.S., I'm at the kind of bottom of the totem pole. There is a group that has a worse experience than me, and that was a black and brown trans women. So I'm gonna do everything I can to protect those black and brown trans women, even as I'm um, need protection. So in this space, I'm going to implore you not to think about, oh, I don't have symptoms. Oh, I'm not in the um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not target group, but concern group. I'm young. All of this. Think about the people you come in contact with. Just because you will not die or even have symptoms of this does not mean that you don't have the virus. And I'm going to speak for myself. I would not want to. Th- uh, Thank you, thank you. I hope this is why I'm doing this. I'm hoping my words are helping you. This community is my responsibility, and this is why I get so pissed off with people with large platforms who have blue checks and are known for some technology to get on Twitter and all these other things to spout shit that they don't know about, that they're ignorant about. I take my role and my responsibility to you as a community member very, very seriously. I understand that my voice, my message is amplified and people listen to what I say. And so I take that very seriously. So I implore you, if you do not have to be around people, stay at home. If you have to be around people, do social distancing. Go to stores or wherever you need to go. When it's not crowded. I was supposed to meet one of my best friends for dinner tonight, um, and I canceled. And I had to explain to her that I canceled because I don't want to be put in danger, and I don't want to put other people in danger. I love her. We'll see each other. She's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So it's about, for me, I live when people start talking shit about me, and saying I'm a grifter or whatever that is. They don't understand that I live these guiding principles in my professional and personal life. And so I'm going to ask you to start living these guiding principles in your professional and your personal life. Reach out to those who may be feeling a lot of anxiety because they don't know what the fuck's going on, because no one is able to tell them. And whenever possible, please do what you can to protect the most vulnerable. It's not about just you. We get there together or we don't get there at all. We are up against an administration that will not tell anybody the truth no matter what. It just came out that shit, I don't know how many people at this Mar-a-Lago um dinner that they had are now tested positive for coronavirus. Their Brazilian person, the Brazilian, I don't know his title, but the reason the person who was being honored, I'm gonna say honor, but the reason the person, the Brazil official who the dinner was for, sat right next to this president, sat right next to him. So I wouldn't believe that if he tested positive, he would tell anybody. That says a lot. And so we're going to have to, this is what the Black community does. White people ask me all the time why, when I say the whiteness is about individuals and we are about community, this is what we do. So I'm going to ask you to go outside of your white nature and and um and to start thinking communally, start thinking about how to protect all of us. How did you identify those most vulnerable people around you and put a barrier around them to make sure they're protected as much as possible without putting yourself in danger. And again, that is just the message today. We get there together or not at all. We get there together or not at all. This is what inclusion and diversity is. When people want to talk about bullshit, it is in these moments that proves that inclusion and diversity is not a nice to have. It is a must. It is an imperative for us to traverse the world we live in. So everybody be safe, take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful day.